Black to the garden. Yeah. Spun brown on the mound. Now mind your herbs like you mind your business. Black to the garden like it's eating. Can I get a witness? Growing hard and now we eating about that health and fitness. Health is wealth, work the land, producing natural riches. Urban gardens in my hood with spaces limited. Had game from ancestors, now we flipping it. Irregardless of our set sides and differences, we all eat and hunger is our common nemesis. So we drilling on the ops with vegetable crops. Raised beds of container gardens on rooftops. North facing illuminated by sun rays. We eating good like granny's house on Sundays. In the field with big steel, never tap out. The farmer's market popping like a trap house. I'm on the path to liberation, get the maps out. Ain't no business like grow business, we cash out.
Welcome to the Mind Your Herbs podcast. I'm your host, Big Steel, the co-host, Erica Plants from PlantandHeal.com. And our subject of the day is the rise of urban farms. So let's get into what exactly is an urban farm. So an urban farm is pretty much any type of cultivation, whether it's crops, livestock, that is done in an urban area. Now, examples of this: community gardens, rooftop farms, aquaponic and hydroponic farms are all examples of urban farms. And you start to see a lot more urban farms pop up in urban areas. I know it's a big thing up in Detroit. Actually, the largest urban farm in the world, I believe, is in Paris. And I think their goal is to produce up to 2,000 pounds of fruits and vegetables a day. And the largest food forest, I believe, is in Atlanta. I think it's 7.1 acres. They have the largest food forest. And New York, surprisingly, New York has the most community gardens. They have like 650 community gardens. And the second place that has the most, New York has them beat by like 650, and that is Atlanta as the second most community gardens. So you have a rise. This stuff is on the rise. What do you think about the rise of urban farms?
I think it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's completely awesome that we have a rise of urban farms going on right now because we need them. We need all farmers. Farmers matter. As a farmer, I know how much our role in society is important. We got less than 1% growing the food for 100% of this world, and that's a problem.
It's a big problem. Very big problem. Very big problem.
So how do you feel about urban farms? What do you think?
I definitely think they're very needed because, like you say, they're expecting too much out of traditional farming because traditional farming has to do a lot to keep up with the demand, and making community gardens, not community gardens, that means making urban farms more local in the local areas. It's just safer for one. Quality of the food is better, and people are starting to want more of the farm to table experience. People want the quality.
Traditional farming because of A, the pesticides, and B, I don't want no food that has come from 40 states over and then went to 10 states later to be cleaned and packaged and then made it another 20 states to me. I'm good on all of that.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know that the moment that leaf comes off of that root system, the clock starts on it and starts slowly, from the time it goes to processing instead of losing life. And it also plays a role into why a lot of times when you get certain items in the store, it's like it's pretty much close to being expired. What the average bag, the average bag of lettuce lasts 2 or 3 days from out of the store, maybe,
depending on what they grew it in. Because listen, sometimes it's way longer than that, but I don't trust it because I've grown my own food and I know how much viability is in that. I also have to then realize that you harvested that stuff 9 times out of 10 super early,
Mm-hmm.
just so it could make it to the store. So it didn't have its natural sugars. It don't got its natural flavor. Then you put waxes or sprays or whatever on it just to ensure that it made it to where it was going to. Yeah, count me out.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I want, like, a lot of people don't know, like, once you get into even if you're not gonna find an urban farm, if you get into growing your own food, that taste is way different from the taste you're gonna get in the store. I guarantee you, once you taste the freshness, there's no going back.
There's
You
no going back. Like I don't like tomatoes all the way because I'm autistic and it's a texture thing. But when I
mm,
grow them myself, I like tomatoes way more, knowing that there's 20,000 different types of tomatoes in present day, and
mm,
that I've had tomatoes that taste like blueberries and look like them, and
mm,
cherries and pineapples and citrus taste. You get what I'm saying? This stuff that you just don't get at the store, because the stuff at the store is not at the store because it's got great flavors or it's super
mm,
bright. It's at the store because it had a good shelf life for travel.
yeah,
It's a good travelable one.
yeah, definitely, definitely. What are some of the benefits of having the urban farms?
One of the benefits is knowing your farmer and knowing what goes into it, because you got to know your farmer if you can.
Yes.
It's a privilege to know your farmer, but to know your farmer is to know your food. And in this present day of forever chemicals, commuting, also caring about my own carbon imprint, footprint, and all, I want to know my farmer and I want it to be in my backyard where I can see that. In addition, it allows me to grow in season. Do you know your farmer?
Facts. That's people be sleeping on it. When people come and buy stuff from me, they can come right and look at exactly where it's coming from. You can
Right.
taste. I tell people all the time. I walk out and I can eat right off the stem because I know I'm not gonna put nothing on it that's gonna kill me or cause
Yeah.
me problems long term. Why? So
Yeah.
that's a very very big benefit. Whoever feeds you leads you,
Yeah.
and we see it, right here in the world. We got all these food forests here that we got a lot of cities that don't have access to good food, adequate
Correct.
food. Because Dollar Tree and all this stuff. That's not quality food. The McDonald's on every corner. That's not quality food. That is actually playing into a bigger problem that a lot of people don't see. So.
Definitely, definitely. Like I like that whole whoever feeds you leads you. Because you know me, I'm like whoever controls your food controls you, and whoever
Hmm.
controls your land controls you. So if you ain't got no land and no food, you are already at a deficit
True.
because you're not in power in the way that you would ideally want or desire to be in power. And so in those instances, what I think about is when you say, "Oh, that feeds you, leads you." Like seriously, like Walmart and all the rest of them got extra preservatives. McDonald's
Mm.
got like all that stuff has extra trash in it just so it can make it to you. And so knowing your farmer is important. Another benefit that I would say is the cost is lower. We would
Mm.
act like the cost is higher, but the cost is lower, especially overall when we consider like your deductibles on your health insurance, when we think about your mental health, when we think about even your time to take work off, go pick up your kid and take them to the doctor. That's time you lost at your job and time that child lost in instruction. What are
That's
some of the
true.
benefits you know about?
Definitely the health. I'm a big believer as food is medicine, and how can the people heal if the food they eating is causing the problems? The food is supposed to heal you. So big believer in having food as medicine, and I am a big believer in having localized food system, having a food system where we can go and see where it's coming from. We can
Definitely,
go see what type of fertilizer that farmer is using. We can come developing that relationship. Having that relationship because that quality food matters. What we put in
definitely,
our body matters. If we put in
yeah,
food that's already nutrient deficient in the body, what benefit is it doing for the body? Because the body needs minerals to operate. The
definitely.
body has to be recharged. We recharge the body through the food we putting in it. So
Definitely. And if all the food you're eating is dead, then what are you eating?
yeah, slow death.
Well, and even on that component of know your farmer and know the food, even the conventional like poultry and all, I'm not trying. I have enough stress and inherited predispositions from all the traumas of America, yada yada yada. Last
Hmm.
thing I need is to be eating the trauma of the chicken, the egg, and all the rest of that as well. Count me out.
Definitely. And since we're talking about that, we're gonna pull into our subtopic, which is cancer rates on the rise in young people due to accelerated aging. So what do you think are some things that plays a role into that? What are some of your theories?
I know the blue light and the lack of sleep is playing into it. Definitely. It keeps you up and you don't get the rest. I also think the sedentary lifestyle of working from home or working at an office and the desk is playing into our health and the roles of it, which then allows you to, at your jobs, circle around food for every event and circle around those kind of things. It's just an issue all the way around.
Definitely.
How about
Definitely.
yourself?
Well, I look at it when it comes to stuff like this, I always look at the diet first. I think the diet plays a big role. I remember, I want to say about maybe 2 or 3 years ago, like I had a number of my nieces, they all got the same gastro issue. And I know it comes from the food. I know the food plays a big role into it because there's a rise, I think, among the cancers attacking the younger people, lung cancer, the gastro cancer, and the colon cancer, and that all tells me that it's definitely the food. The food plays a role into it, and because now they're doing this examination of what's going on. They're examining people age, but the age is not matching them biologically. Like if the like I think in the article it said the guy was 40 years old, but his body was actually older than his actual age. Chronologically, he was older, and that's nothing but the diet. That the diet is making the body age faster than what it should because all the chemicals and all the process that the food is going through.
I can't say it's just food though. Though it's got to be
Mm.
pollution. It's got to be
That
rest.
yeah, that too,
Got to be
environmental.
stress.
Yeah, definitely the stress. I forgot to mention that the stress is a silent killer. It's a conversation that we need to talk about a whole lot more. The stress. It is the silent killer. It is actually the domino that causes the fall down effect. What they call it when the domino falls?
Definitely domino effect.
Yeah, it causes the domino effect. I'm sorry. Yeah, the stress is the domino effect to everything else, and it is definitely uh, the stress subject definitely needs to be covered a lot more than what it is. And this society wants to brush over stress, but it definitely got to start having talks about this stress.
We
Definitely
definitely
do.
have to talk about the stress in the work because it's the work life balance because you're working so many more hours at a sedentary lifestyle and then you're eating trash.
Yes, yes, it all factors into each other. All of that factors into each other. So many factors, and I don't know. What are some of your solutions?
Hey, you need to get more rest. You got to get more rest. You got to turn that phone off because that blue light is severe. And granted, your
Hmm.
phone will allow you the ability to turn off the blue light because it does wire your mind wrong and make you stay up even longer. You got to go outside because although social media is great, you need to be outside actually socializing with people face to face and not the people at work. You don't even like them like that. Okay, listen.
Facts. Big facts. Big facts. Mm-mm.
And so, what are
Yeah.
your solutions?
Uh, my solution, I would say, try to de-stress by any means necessary. Even if you just got to go sit in your car for 20 minutes before you go inside, we have to de-stress. We have to. We can't be Superman and carry on the burden of the world because we're human. We're not made to carry on all these burdens at one time. We have to de-stress. Number two is the diet. I'm not saying you got to be a vegan or anything, but we definitely got to get better with the diet. That plays a major role. The diet and the stress work together hand in hand. Because what a lot of people don't know, that stress raises your cortisol levels, which plays a role into the heart disease and the type 2 diabetes. It plays a role into that.
It definitely does. And type 2 diabetes and all the chemicals and pollutions of the air and all is definitely aiding in this detoxifying of our bodies, just like UV radiation and all. There's so many components to the game that is aging our kids more. But also that we got chemicals like plastics and all in our foods and in our soil. We got all these forever chemicals that are compounding us.
Big facts. Big facts. So that concludes this episode of the Mind Your Herbs podcast. We will be back for another episode next week. You can find me, Big Steel Urban Farm, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Lemonade. What else is out there? I be forgetting. I said Instagram. And I think that's it. Not on Twitter yet. And tell everyone where we can find you.
You can find me across the platforms, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, under Gardening Under Influence. Gardening Under Influence, like driving under influence. And I sell seeds, fruit trees, and edible plant starts. And soon I will be accepting EBT at plantandheal.com, like Netflix and chill. You're going to plant something, you're going to heal something over here. And we specialize in small growing spaces.
Got my hands in this rich black soil, breaking ground for a kingdom that's royal. Be fruitful and multiply, that's word. I'm in the garden just minding my herbs. Elder said that we reap what we sow. Planting heirloom seeds, watch them grow. Enough talk, we taking action like birds. Be the family, hope you mind your herb. There's no business like grow business, oh no. This is my